will going to guide us on how to do it with Power Apps. Today we have the host, Victor, and the co-host, that is me, Andrea. I'm from Bolivia. A little bit about me, that I'm a student, I'm engineering, I'm student engineering, systems engineering here in Bolivia. You can look for me in LinkedIn or even Instagram. Those are the applications that I mostly use. And okay, the learning objective today is going to be like learn the basics of Microsoft Power Platform and also Power Apps. Okay, now with it, with the our little agenda is going to be along with me. It's going to be an introduction to Power Platform. So what we're going to see here is overview of Microsoft 365 and its ecosystem, building Power Platform's tools for low-code development, and Microsoft Power Apps. Okay, that is going to be our little agenda. And okay, as an introduction to Microsoft 365 and Power Platform, what we're going to see, I think most of you are pretty related or have somehow feel in touch with the Microsoft 365, because at first time we used to see it like only Word, Excel, PowerPoint, when we were on school maybe, or doing our presentations. Maybe we need some calculations, then we use Excel or Word if we wanted to do like something, I don't know, investigations and all of that, right? But now Microsoft has a, a join all these tools, and they have made it like Microsoft 365. So you have all the variety and the tools that you used to use, and everything all together, right? So it says Microsoft 365 is a comprehensive suite of productivity tools and cloud-based services offered by Microsoft. Indeed, Microsoft 365 includes familiar applications that you have been used, such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Teams, along with cloud-based services like OneDrive, SharePoint, and Power Platform. So everything is all together now, not like everywhere. So I have this investigation here or my Excel there. Now, and I have everything in one place. What else about Microsoft 365 apps? As I was telling you, we used to use like Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Those are like the most the tools that we used to use in past. So are now all together along with Teams, Outlook, and OneDrive. So it's pretty helpful to use this suite. Now, what about what is Microsoft Power Platform? Okay, getting into like a deeper into this session and what is the objective. Microsoft Power Platform, as it says, is a low-code platform for building amazing solutions faster with very little or no code at all. Okay, so that means you can create your own applications with no touching code. So that's pretty awesome, right? You don't need to be I don't know, a programmer or a developer or a full stack, let's say. You need only to know how does this tool works. So getting into it, Power Platform, what is? The Microsoft Power Platform is a suite of low-code, as I've been saying, and I need you to get into your minds low-code tools designed to empower organizations to automate processes, analyze data, and build custom applications. And indeed, you can use these kind of tools and tell maybe your boss or your teacher to try to integrate this tool into your projects, right? So it consists of four main components: Power Platform, and we're talking about Power Automate, Power Apps, Power BI, Power Pages, and Power Virtual Agents, right? So as it says, it may be four because the first ones like Power Automate, Power Apps, Power BI, and Power Pages are the most useful, let's say, even though we're still working on with Power Virtual Agents. Okay, I think most of you have already seen Power BI. I am actually more like I know more about Power BI. Okay, I haven't too much until I get into this environment of Microsoft, get into, or I didn't know that Power Apps or Power Automate exists. So getting to know this tool is very important. Why? Because utilizing Microsoft Power Platform for business needs, it actually increases the agility across your organization by rapidly building low-code apps that modernize processes and solve the challenges, right? Uh, so what are we saying here? We're kind of saying that you have to present or to give not exactly an investigation, but something that it's functional, right? And you don't have like this long deadline to do it. So here it is, the answer: Power Platform, with the use of the Power Apps that we're going to see with along with Victor. And how can you propose that to your boss, right? What about the use of Power Platform and do it pretty easy or rapidly, right? That solution. So I encourage you to talk about it or put it on the table with your team. Okay, so let's go like more deeper with Power Platform products. What do we have here? As I was telling you, Power BI, that if maybe not all of you know about it, it's about guide decision making with stunning reports and real-time insights from across your organization. So everything that you do in your company or your team, it's like you can visualize it here. Okay, Power BI, it's a great tool, and it's growing now as every tool in Microsoft. It's always like giving its support to it, and pretty important to have it in your company or in your team. Okay, what about Power Automate? As it says, boost your productivity by automating repetitive tasks and workflows with process automation. Okay, so how this Power Automate helps us? I have been part of a company that used to integrate this tool. How? So they had like pretty known workflows that they used to use with papers. So that's a pretty past story about using papers, because you're going to lose the register of what is being doing, right? Or what has happened with a specific process. So Power Automate is going to give you like even a register or how the workflow is going to go for let's say another area. Okay, so what if a workflow starts with a simple employee, then it has to go to the director, then it has to go to authorization, and then to IT. Okay, so that's what Power Automate actually does, and it helps a lot into the company's environment or team's environment. Okay, okay. Later we have two Power Apps that it says build and launch professional grade apps and automate workflows without additional coding. Okay, we're going to center into this tool because that's what we are going to use here. And as I was telling you before, pretty important for your, let's say, long term, short term deadlines maybe that you can use these Power Apps. Okay, what about Power Pages? It's create websites and customer solutions fast while securely storing and managing data. Okay, but let's go with Power Apps. Microsoft Power Apps. About Microsoft Power Apps, it's a low code, as it says, no code application development and a platform that allows users to create custom business applications without extensive coding knowledge. So that means for you guys and for everyone that it's not really into coding but know the basis, it's pretty important to have this tool right next to you, right? So having this knowledge about Power Apps is pretty important right now that the world is constantly growing into social network. If your company is not into these social networks like, I don't know, LinkedIn or even, I don't know, what else do we have, Instagram, Facebook, right? You are like unknown. Yes, your company is not there. So what happens into creating these applications? Creating them faster, it gives us uh, a wide range of people that is going to use it, right? So pretty important for you to have this kind of knowledge about Microsoft Power Apps. If you ever uh, want to get into code or is stay in your computer all the time, so I recommend you to, or I encourage you to understand and to give some space to get to know Power Apps this time. Okay, what else? With Microsoft Power Apps, with Copilot, also that's important to clarify. Users can leverage Copilot's capabilities within the Power Apps Studio using natural language. So you can integrate, okay? At some point, somehow, you're going to uh, succeed with Power Apps, learning about it, and you can integrate it with GitHub Copilot, right? What else? Actually, here is an important like preview. The world needs great solutions, so you have to build yours faster. So here it comes again, the advice that you have to go to the table on your team and propose the use of Microsoft Power Apps. Okay, you have to see if it's a great solution. Remember, there's no, you have to give a little, maybe, how would you say, investigation on what you're going to do. And if you have little time to do it, Power Apps is the solution. And I'm going to keep on saying that because it is. Okay, guys, what else do we have? So, as I was saying, Power Apps and how Victor is going to present it, um, and also Power Pages. But right now we're going to Power Apps, right? As in the first slide I have showed you here. It's going to give us a little sample about a mobile application, and he's going to do it uh, little by little so you can understand how does it go. Okay, I don't know if you're ready, Victor.
Yes, Andrea, I'm ready.
Okay, and thank you. I am co-hosting this. I really enjoy this session, but we're gonna be here still. Okay, so let's go with
Right.
you.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Um,
You're welcome.
Okay, so let me quickly share my screen. Awesome. So my name is Victor, Victor Nanade. I am a Gold Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador from Ghana, and I will be taking you through the hands-on session. So as Andrea stated earlier, Microsoft Power Apps is more of it's a platform where you can quickly build functional applications. Most organizations, most large organizations they are on the Microsoft 365. But then the truth is that most of them are not aware of these services that Microsoft offer to them. The ones that we know, the popular ones are usually Power BI and Microsoft Word and the rest. But then Power Apps, Power Virtual Agent, these platforms, they are usually rarely used. And so this event, okay, is basically to enlighten you guys, especially those of you in the corporate world, to learn how to quickly build functional applications using the Microsoft Power Apps platform. So without wasting much time, we are going to dive into it. Today, we'll be building a very simple application. The application should actually let a user register. After registering, you can log in, and then it will take you to a screen where it displays your details. So it's basically like a profile app. So this is what we are going to do. I'd like for someone to suggest a name for the application based on the brief description that I've given. So it's just an app that displays a user profile or user details on the profile screen. So kindly suggest a name for the app in the chat, and we are going to use that. All right, so let's quickly get into it. Awesome. So this is the Power Apps console. This is where all the magic happens. So we are going to create a new application, right? But then we are going to take usernames. We are going to take user details, and we'll have to store them or save them somewhere. So we'll need a database, right? We are going to use SharePoint. It's also part of the Microsoft 365 family. It's going to act as a data source for our application. So we can either start building our application and then join or link our data source later, or we can build our data source. So I would prefer for us to build our data source. So this is the SharePoint screen. So we are going to build a list. On the left panel here, we see my list, right? Great. So we click on my list. It's loading. Great. So I already have a few lists here, but we can actually, if we want to start afresh, we can build a new one, or we can actually build from these existing lists, right? But we are taking it step by step. So I think it will be better for us to create it from scratch. So we go to the create. Now this is the SharePoint screen. Let's not forget. And then we want lists, right? So we click on the list. Okay. So we want a blank list. We're going to create a blank list. And what are we going to call it? Let's just say, let's just call it user details. Okay, we already have a list with that name. Let's add 95 to it to make it unique. Okay, so user details 95. Awesome. Let's just choose a random color. And then where are we saving it to? Let's save it to community. That is where I want to save my list. Then I create it. Okay. Awesome. Now we need to create columns for our list. Now these columns are going to be used in our application. Our application is going to allow users to log in, right? So what are some of the details or the data that we are going to take from our user? We'll need a username, we'll need the email, we'll need a password, we'll need their age, gender, profile picture. Usually these, the usual things that we see on a user profile, right? So let's just start creating. This is a default column. So let's just rename this one to name. So we already have a name here, right? Awesome. Then email. So it's going to be a text. Yeah. Email. It's a text, no default value. And okay, let me drag this. Then we save it. Let's add another one for password. Also a text. So the name is password. We save it. Let's create another one. We call it age. Now, age is not going to be a text, it's going to be a number. So we click next. We call it age. Okay, then we save it. Let's go for gender. Now, gender, we want to use the choice so we can actually have multiple choices. So let's give it a name, gender. So choice 1, we are going to have male. Choice 2, we're going to have female. And then choice 3, let's just choose other, right? Awesome. Should we add values manually? No, let's just leave it to the choices. We save that. And then the final column, we don't want to create so many columns, right? We want to create a simple application. So let's just add a profile picture. And that is going to be an image. So next, and then we call it profile picture. Yeah. Awesome. So we have our SharePoint list. This is going to be our data source for our application. So we should remember the name. It's user details 95. We are going to need it. So let's go back to the Power Platform canvas or the Power Apps canvas, and then let's create our application. So we are going to create a blank application. As you can see, there are several ways that you can create an application. You can actually design your application using Figma and then export it here. That makes it way easier. But we are starting all afresh. So we are going to create a blank application, a canvas, and we are going to use a phone. Okay, so any suggestions for the app name in the chat? Otherwise, we'd have to go with something. Okay, let's just call it profile since how about this? Great. So let's wait for, all right, it's here. So great. Now this is where we build our screens. This is where we add our components. This is where we add our data source, any media. If we want to integrate Power Automate, any other the features that you want to add to the applications, we see it on the left pane. Now, the right pane is our property panes where we actually edit the components and screens that we've added. All right. Now, on the top ribbon, we see insert, add data, new screen. It's basically more like a combination of both left and then right panes at the top. Right. So this is our first screen, the screen one. We're going to create a login screen for that because obviously when you open a new application, you're invited to the login screen. So the name is screen one. We want to change it to login screen. Sorry. So login screen. Awesome. How do we want to see it? So let's go to our components label. Now, these are the popular ones, but you can actually expand these things if you want to pick any of the many components here, right? Now, first of all, we need a text label to display the application name, right? So you basically drag and drop. Awesome. So let's just change the name or so the name of our application is Profile. We want it in caps, Profile. This is beautiful. Just resize it, drag it to the middle. This is okay. You can actually change the font style, the font size. We're going to do this later. Let's just quickly build the application. When we finish, we look at the aesthetics part of it. All right, so now we also need an app logo, right? So this is the app name. We need an app logo. So there's an app name, app logo. Maybe the login text will be here, then the field. So let's add the app logo. So we come to media, image. Great. We put this here, right here in the middle. This is very big. Let's just make it a bit smaller. I think it's still big, a bit smaller. I think this is okay. Right. So later we are going to add our image. We just want to get a skeleton of the whole thing. Let's okay, wait. So one thing that you should be doing is to rename the labels that you add or the components that you add. Otherwise, you're going to get confused later on. So for the app name label, let's just change it to app name label. So we don't get confused later on. Now this is going to be our app image. So app image. Awesome. Okay. So let's add a text label that displays the login text. So let's change the name to login. Awesome. So we drag this, put it somewhere here. Where's our image? Is here. Okay, so let's put this somewhere here. Okay, now we need the email and then the password text fields where the user is going to input their. So we are going to use the text input. There's a difference between the text label. The text label only displays the text, and the text input, it receives text, right? So we drag this, bring it here. Awesome. There's our text input. And this is going to take our email input, right? So let's change the default text input over there. The default is text input. We don't want to see text input there, so we clear it. And then for the hint value, let's choose email. Now that is going to be displayed, yes, as a hint. Immediately you start entering text is going to disappear. All right, so let's drag another text input for our password field. Okay, somewhere here is fine. So we repeat the same thing now. I didn't label this. Let's quickly change it before we get confused. So login label. Awesome. Now this is our email text input, but it's on the login page. So login email text input. We are going to have several text inputs, so we need to actually give it a name that matches the particular screen we are using that in. So this is going to be, let's just change this to login password. Text input, awesome. The default, it should be empty, and then the hint text should be password. Wonderful. What else do we need? Let's add a login button, right? So we drag a button from the left pane onto our screen as a big button right there. Right, let's change the name to login button. Awesome. We can actually resize it. It looks pretty big. I think this is fine. Yeah, align it to the middle. Yeah, this is fine. And what else do we need? We will need a registration link, right? So you can't just log in onto the application. You'd have to be a user first. So we have to add a link for a new user registration, which is going to be a text label. So let's add a text label here. We would have to drag certain things up a bit. We are actually running out of space. So login should go up, email up, password up. Awesome. Button up. And then should be somewhere here. Okay, this should come here. Great. So this is going to be, this text should display. Did I give this a name? Yes, I did. Now let's give this a name. So we are going to call it register label. Awesome. And the text should be, you can actually double click here. So new user, and maybe a question mark, register. Yeah, I think this is okay. So let's resize it, drag it to the middle. So for the button, let's give it a name. We're going to call it it's a login button. So obviously let's give it login. Awesome. Now this is beginning to look like an actual login interface. There's actually one thing. What if someone forgets the password? We would have to reset the password. So let's add another text label somewhere here that says forgotten password. So we're gonna call it forgotten password label. You can actually design your interface whichever way you want. We want to do something that is as close as an actual application. So that's why we're adding all these things. So forgotten password label is all right. And the text should be forgotten password. Yeah. The question mark. Awesome. So okay, we drag this here. Okay, so this is a simple login page. All right, we can actually make certain things a bit lighter. So we can differentiate between these things. We can actually, okay, let's build our screens, then we come and then do the aesthetics later. Okay, so this is what our login screen or our login and register screen is going to look like. Let's go to the next screen. So okay, so for the forgotten password, we are going to click on it, and then it's going to open another screen. The login button should open another screen, and then new user or register text label should also open another screen. So we have 1, 2, 3 more screens to build. So we can take them one after the other. Let's just go with the log. Okay, we have the login. So when you log in, it should take you to the user profile screen. So let's build a new screen called the user profile. So new screen, blank. And then we are going to call it a user profile. Okay, let's just go according to what we have. So let's just build a forgotten password screen. So you can click on it to rename. So forgotten password screen. Awesome. Let's just pile up our screens here. So we just move into them. So we'll build a new screen for the registration screen, right? Okay, let's just finish with the forgotten password screen. What do we want to see on the forgotten password screen? So you click on it, it should supposed to give you certain fields that you can reset. So maybe you'd have to enter your email, you enter a new password, and then you confirm that the new password, and then maybe a reset button, right? So let's do that. Let's go back to our components pane. So let's take a text label that should display reset password. So reset password. Beautiful. Let's align it here somewhere. This is okay. Let's bring it a bit down. Then let's add 3 text inputs, right? 1 for email, 1 for new password, and then the last one for confirm. You can actually copy and paste, Control C, Control V, another Control V, since I already have it in my clipboard. Awesome. And then a reset button. Okay, so let's drag a button. Where's our button? Here. Awesome. So this is our reset button. Let's resize it a bit. Drag this a bit down. Yes, this is okay. All right, so let's give our labels and text fields names. All right, so this is going to be reset password label. This is going to be email, reset email label. So as I said, we have other email text inputs, so we have to actually rename them as they are in the particular screen we are using. So reset password. Oh, this is email actually. Okay, reset password email text input. That's a mouthful of names, but we're gonna manage. And the default should be empty. The hint should be email. Wonderful. Let's rename this to reset password. So reset password. That's the name of the screen that we are working on right now. So reset password. Now this should be a new password. So new. I'm just going to type pass instead of password because yeah, text input. All right. And then the text input should be empty. The hint should be new password. Wonderful. So we rename this to, so reset password, confirm, so pass. So this confirm password text input. All right. And then let's clear the default text input now, and then the hint should be confirm password. Awesome. Now our button, we should change the name also to reset button or reset password button. The text should be reset. You can actually choose any name for that, whichever way that suits you. So this looks more like a reset password screen. If we want to go back, we should have a back button that should take us to the previous screen. So we can actually use an icon for that. So let's close our media. Let's look for icons. And let's choose the back arrow. Okay. Let's drag, let's put it somewhere here. Wonderful. We can actually resize it depending on how we want it. So, okay. That's pretty big. Let's resize it a bit. And yeah, this is okay. So we are going to call it the reset password back icon. So reset password back icon. The naming conventions depends on you. Whichever way you like to name your icons, text fields, labels, it all depends on you. As long as you won't forget, because you are going to have a lot of labels to work with. All right, so this is also set, I think. Right, so let's create another screen. So we go to our login, right? So when you log in, it should take you to the profile screen. So let's create a new screen for the login screen. Now, when you click on the login screen, it should take you to the profile screen where it's going to display all the details that you entered when you were registering. All right. Now, these details is going to be picked or fetched from the list that we created in SharePoint list. So to make it easier, we are going to actually add a form. All right. So we'll add a form. And it says connect to data, right? So let's connect. Let's add data here. Connectors. And then SharePoint list. SharePoint. Let's choose SharePoint here. Now on the right pane, we saved our list to the community, should I say folder? Let's see. Now there it is, user details 95. That was the name we gave to our SharePoint list or our data source. So we are going to choose this and then connect. Awesome. So it's here now. So let's connect the data to the form. We are going to pick same thing here. It failed. All right. Connect to data. So we choose the user details 95 as our data source. Awesome. So it is displaying the columns exactly how we built it in the SharePoint list. So this is how it's going to look like. When you log in, it's going to display your details like this, but we want to actually make some alterations to this. Usually on profile screens, we see the profile picture to be on top, probably maybe somewhere in the middle, then followed by the name, maybe email, gender, and then age, right? So we are going to realign these. We don't want to see the password here when we open our profile screen. So we will take out the password, right? So you come to the fields, and then let's remove the password field. Now we don't delete anything from your data source when you connect it. You can only hide and then remove. Immediately you delete something, you actually get errors in your application. So yeah, we need these. Now let's make some alterations to this, right? Okay. So we want the profile picture to be on top. I think we should actually go back to so we can see everything. All right, let's close the login screen, forgotten password screen. Yes, we didn't give our profile screen a name. So let's give it a name before we get confused, right? So profile screen. Oh, I already have that. Great. One thing that I'd want us to have in mind is that when we use a form in any of the screens, the form actually gets a default name with a number. So this form that we are using for our profile screen is called edit form 1. We are going to use another form or the same form in our new screen called registration screen, and it's going to give it another name. We will have to remember this because when we are actually trying to link our screens together, we are going to see multiple forms, and we should remember where we placed these forms in order to be able to, not get errors or anything like that. So our form here, we want the profile picture to move upwards, right? So let's go back to the fields. You can actually move these things up and down, right? So we want the profile to be on top. Wonderful. Then the name, then email, age, and then gender. Yeah, this is good. This is how we want it. Or maybe the gender first, let the age be here. Okay. So this is great. Now let's make some alterations here. This is our profile screen. So let's give this a name. The title here, we are going to change it to the name of our profile. We call it the name of our app, sorry, profile. Okay. So label app name. Let's just change it to app name. But it's on the profile screen, so we don't want to forget profile app name. Yeah, profile screen app name. This is good. You can actually reduce the text here. Let's just we'll edit this later. Let's drag it to the middle. Let me just close it. Drag it to the middle. All right, this is good. What else? What else? Okay, so our picture, it's big. The size for it is big. Let's just minimize this a bit. All right, this is okay. Let's drag it to the left. Oh no, it should be here. The middle. We don't want to see this here. Okay, so we are going to hide it. We shouldn't delete anything here. So let's the visibility. So on the right pane, let's look for the visibility. All right, so visible off. Now it's gone. We don't have to see that again. The title, that is our name, we are going to hide that too. the email. Let's hide it. The email label, the gender. We are going to hide the label. And then the age, we'll hide it. Now this form is in it's in the edit mode, right? We for the profile screen, we are not editing anything, we are only viewing it. So we set our form to the default mode, we set it to view because we are only viewing it. Now it's gone. It's gone because we are viewing it, but for whilst we are editing, we should actually make it edit so we can edit or do whatever we want to do. When we finish, then we can make changes to it. So this is big. Let me make it a bit smaller. Let me make this a bit smaller. All right, this is okay. Okay, so for this space, I think we are going to add two icons here. All right, one is going to be edit, and then the other one is going to be submit. All right, so when you open your profile and then you want to edit something on your profile or in your profile, you should be able to use those icons, those clickable icons to do these changes. So let's add two icons. Let's go to the components, proper layout, under icons. Let's choose. Let's see. All right, so we have this. We are going to use the check, and then we are going to use the edit. All right, so we drag edit. Let's put this here. Okay, it's pretty big. Let's make it a bit smaller. We put the edit here, and let's pick this for our submit, the check icon for our submit. All right, so we make it smaller, a bit smaller. Great. This is good. So now we can actually hide, or we can set our form to the view mode because we are only viewing it, we are not editing it, right? So profile screen, this is our form. Under the properties for the form, we set the default mode to view. Now we'll get back to it. Let's just build our final screen. Then we start working on them. All right, there's text and everything. We are going to work on it. So we have our third screen here. We have our login. Okay, wait. There's some work to do here. Let's finish it. So we didn't give these icons and labels names. I think it's only this that we gave a name, profile screen app name. Now this, the profile screen, we don't need this here. All right. So I'm going to remove this actually. And then drag that one to this place. All right. So we are not seeing it because it's the font is white. Let's change it to blue. Awesome. Let's make it okay. All right, this is cool. Okay, so the name is icon accept one. So let's change it to profile screen. Icon accept. So this would be profile screen icon edit. So profile screen icon edit. Awesome. This should take us back to maybe the login screen, right? So let's just profile screen icon cancel. All right. So the rest of everything here, okay, these are the icons. Now the form, there are several labels and text fields here. When we are working on the form, we might have to change some of the names. But for now, we have 1, 2, 3 screens. Let's add our final screen here, which is going to be our registration screen for the new user. That too, we will use a form because we just want to fill in the form that we created. We don't have to do all of that from scratch. So form, and then we connect to data, to our data here. It's loading. Wonderful. So with this, I think we will just leave it like that. The profile, the space for the profile is too big. Let's just make it smaller. Click to add a picture, drag it to the middle. Okay, so the title should be register or registration screen. Let's just call it register. All right, awesome. Let's bring it here. Great. Now, what do we have? So this should be our name. Let's change the title to name, so we don't get confused. So the name is data card key 7. With these ones, I wouldn't want to tamper with them because we won't actually be using them that much. So name, email, password, gender. Yes, this is fine. All right. So we can actually drag this here to match this. Okay. Awesome. So this is how the form is going to look like. When you click on the new user register, it's going to bring you to this screen where you actually input these things or these data, and it's going to get filled into the data source that we created in SharePoint list, right? So after registering, we want to get maybe a button called register. This check here is going to do that, but we don't want it to be a check. We actually want it to be a register button, right? So let's drag. There's a space here. I created a space over here. Maybe it might be too small, but we'll try and fix something there. Let's see if I have, yeah, I think I have space to do that. Let me move this up a bit. And then let's go and drag a button from our components panel, a button here, and then bring it here. All right. That is too big. Okay, so we call it register. And then the name here, it says button 3. We change it to register screen button. Awesome. So now this should actually submit the form once we register, and this is going to do that. Now let me show you something here. When you click on this, on select, it says that submit edit form 2. All right. In Power Apps, we write these let me say codes here. We call them Power FX. They are very similar to Excel functions. All right. So if you notice here, it says edit form 2. It's because this is the second form that we are using. We use the form in was it the profile, the login screen or the profile screen? We use the form there. That was a edit form 1. So this is edit form 2. Now this check button is supposed to submit this form, right? Once it's filled, but we are not going to use it. We are using the register button instead. So what we are going to do is copy the code or the function for it, which is submit form, edit form 2, which is this form. We put this code under the on select property. On the left side, we can see this property here, this on select property. So it's basically every label, every text label, every text field, every button, every component that you add, you can actually add a function to it. So it does what you want it to do. All right. So on the on select, or let's just say on click, for the selected icon here, this is what it does. All right. It submits the form. So we'll copy this code and then we actually give it to the register button. So on select it's false, we are going to change it. So we paste this here. So now this is going to do the work that this was supposed to do, meaning we don't need this anymore. So I'm just going to clear this. All right. And then this on select, this should, let's say you are registering, you don't want to register anymore. When you click on this, it should just clear the form, right? So we'll also give it a function later. We're going to start giving functions to our applications from the login screen to the last one. So we won't waste much time here, but let's say we want to go back to the previous screen. Oh, I didn't spell my register right. Let me register. Okay. This looks good. And I didn't give it a name. So let's give it a name. We're on the register screen. So register. Let's call it register label. Register label. Oh, we already have a register label. So register screen label. All right. This is good. So we need a back button. All right, go back. Let's go back to our icons. Okay, the back icon, put it here. Put it here. It's too big. Let's make it a bit smaller. Okay, let's call it register screen back icon. So register screen back icon. This should take us back to the login screen. That is our previous screen. Don't worry about the color, we'll change it. We're going to change a lot of things here. So this is what our registration screen should look like. So yeah, we have our screens here. Oh, I didn't give it a name. Screen 4. No, we're going to call it a register screen. So register screen, registration screen. Awesome. Okay. So as you can see, the form under the registration screen is called edit form 2. And then the form under the profile screen is called edit form 1. So let's not forget. All right. So these are our various screens: login, forgotten password, profile, and then registration. So let's go back to our login screen. And then let's see if we can actually add our functions and then make it more aesthetically pleasing. All right. So first of all, let's touch on our app name. All right. We want it to be bold. So we change the font. Let's choose Georgia. Would have to make this a bit bigger here. Change this to the font size to probably 30. Yes, this is good. Now let's make it bold. Yes, beautiful. So this is our app screen. Now with our image, our app logo, okay, we want a rounded look. But then first of all, let's add an image here first. So when you come to the right side, the properties pane. So the property pane for the image, it says app image, all right, on the login screen. So I'll remember that. Let's add an image let's upload. Let's see if I can get any image downloads. Oh, this is my downloads. So images, app image. Okay, let's see. I should have, let me see. No, I should have one here. Downloads. If I don't get any app image, I would have to, okay, let me use the MLSA badge since I'm not getting any. Okay, let's see. I should have an image. Ooh, where did this image go? Downloads. Out here. Okay, let's just pick a random picture since I'm not getting any. Wait, pictures. Screenshots. Nothing here. All right. We'll just stick to this. Open. Wonderful. This is nice. But then we want it, we want a circular fill. Okay. We want a rounded. Okay, let me give it a border so we see what we mean. So as you can see, it's a square image here. We want it to be rounded. So to do that, the size, let's say 210. Let's use 210 by 210. All right, for the size. So it should be a square. So half, we choose the padding, you come to the, actually the border radius. Okay, so when you come to the border radius, you're going to use half of the number here for the border radius. So half of 210 is going to be 105, right? So let's change the border radius to 105. And it's going to give us, yes, a more rounded upload here. This is okay. If I had found that other logo or image, it would have been way nicer. But I think this is okay. We are going to manage it like that. So the login, let's bolden it a bit, or let's make it bigger. So let's use not Lato Black. Let's use Lato. Let's make it semi-bold, and then let's change this to 28. Yes, this is good. Let's align it here. Okay. All right. So this is our login text label. Now for the email, the password, we are going to leave that like that. Now for forgotten password text label, it should be, I think the font size is okay, but it should be a bit faint. Usually these text labels are very faint. So for the properties for this particular text label, let's scroll down to font weight. Let's set it to lighter. And what else? Okay, the text. Okay, I think let's choose Lato Light. That is, yeah, awesome. Okay, so this is good. Our login button. That is okay. This should be here. This should come back down a bit. This should also be lighter. So again, the font weight should be lighter. Changes to Lato. We want to have a uniform. And then let's underline it. Usually they are underlined. Okay, so new user register. Great. You can actually add a color to it, to the background. You can add a background image, or you can just add a color to it. Whichever way you want it to look like, you can do it like that. All right. So let's add our functions to it. Okay. So the email is going to be email. Now, when you're typing your password, usually we don't see the text. Okay. So for the password text field, what we are going to do is that we are going to set its display mode. Looking at the display mode. Okay, we'll check the mode, the mode to password. So for the password text text field, the mode is a password. In this case, when you are typing your password, you're not going to see what you're actually typing. You have this dot representing what you are typing. So that is the first thing, the changes that we made here. Now, for the forgotten password, when we click on this, it should take us to the forgotten password screen. Okay, so let's come to the properties here, the top here, all right, where we change the various properties for the components we've added. We are going to select or choose on select. So let's see. So on select, what should it do? All right. So we say navigate. Navigate to where? So forgotten password screen, and then comma. Let's add a screen transition to it. All right. So let's just say fade. Okay. Awesome. So when you click on this, it should take you to the forgotten password screen. So let's just test that out. If it's going to do that, I'll hold Alt, click on this, and then yeah, it brought us here. Okay. So quickly, because I'll be testing the application whilst I'm building it. Let's say I want to go back to where I was, I would have to click this, but we don't have any function for this back button. So I'm going to change this to where were we, or what brought us here was we were on the login screen. So for this to on select, we are going to say navigate. Navigate to the login screen, and then screen transition. Let's uncover to the right. You can choose any screen transition you want. All right. So let's test that out again. We are here and then we go back. Awesome. So we go to the forgotten password screen, then we go back. We go back. Awesome. Now to the login button. This is interesting. So let's just pay attention here. So we want to have a feel of, like an actual application, because this is actually an actual application that you can build with Power Apps. So this is what we want to do. This login button here is activated now, or it's let's just say it's enabled. You can see it clearly. This is what we want to do. Until you enter an email and then password, it shouldn't be enabled. It should just, you shouldn't be able to click on it. That is how I would want my login button to function. Okay. So aside that, the login button being disabled until you enter all the required fields, the login button itself should actually navigate you to the login screen. Okay. But if I should do that now and I click on it, it will take us to the login screen without having to enter your email or password. So what then should we give it, or what function should we write for the onSelect? So this is what we are going to do. We are going to have multiple users register for the application, right? Once they register, the app should be smart to pick these users' details from the SharePoint list we built. If it matches any of the data there, then it should open, or it should take you to the login, the profile screen. Otherwise, it shouldn't do that. So how are we going to identify which user is logging in? What we are going to do is we are going to set a variable for that. Okay, so we'll set a global variable. When we say global variable, what we are trying to say is we just want to set an identification for any user. Okay, just one item to identify every user. All right, and then use that identification to log you into the profile screen. All right, so on select property, this is what we are going to do. We clean the false, and then we say that let's set. Now this is not a programming language. This is actually, it's called PowerFX. It's more like Excel functions. So we'll set a variable. Let's call our variable what name? Let's just say user info. Okay, so variable user info. All right, that's what we're going to call it. So this user info is the name of our variable, and it's going to represent any user that logs into our application or registers to our application. So we're setting that user variable, user information to. So what should we do? We are going to search for that user inside our data source. Okay, so this particular user information should be looked into our data source. If it looks up and then it finds it, then it should actually match the email and password to the columns over there. If there's a match, then you can log in. So set var user info. The var stands for variable. That is how we set variables in Power Apps. So user info, then look up our data source, which is user details 1995. Oh, sorry, 95. So now what do we do? Check if the email matches the email here. So email is equal to, now what's the name of this email text field? That is why we have to remember. We don't want to get lost. So okay, let me just go back. We are going to figure it out. So let's say email, let me type email and see. All right, so login email text input, that's the name of our email text inputs here. As I said, the names that you give to your text fields, your buttons, they should match the particular screen you are working on, so you wouldn't get confused. Okay, so this login email text input, so match it dot text, meaning that is the text, the text variables inside the text field, and then the password too. So, and the password should be equal to, I'll explain this once again. So those of us that are confused, we shouldn't get confused. So password, let's see. Password, the login password text input. Okay. Dot text. Awesome. Awesome. Right. So let me explain this real quick. Okay, let me add the navigate screen. So now you can navigate us to the profile screen. And then let's just fade it. All right. So let me explain this once more. Okay. So we are going to have multiple users log into the application, right? So this variable user information, it represents any user that logs in. So when you log in, when you input your email and then your password here, okay, this variable is going to check our data source. So it's going to look up our data source, and this is the name of our data source. It's going to look up the data source and then check the email column and then the password column to see if the login email text input, that is this, all right, that is the name for this text input here. Dot text, the dot text stands for the text inside this text input. Okay, so it will check if the text here and then the text in the password text input matches the email and then the password columns, okay, in our user details 95 data source. If it matches, then it will navigate you to the profile screen. All right. So we are going to do that. If it doesn't match, we can actually add another let's say notification that notify user error. But I think we are running out of time, so we are just going to leave that here. So yes, we want to test this out, but then we are not done with our registration screen. So we'll get back to this and test to see if it worked. All right. So that is for our login screen or the login button. So the login button should do this for you. Now, the display mode, as I was saying, we want to make sure that the user has entered both email and password before the login button will get activated. Currently, it's activated, and we don't want it like that. So when I click on Alt, this is how the app should look like when you're running it. It's activated. We want it to be deactivated. So we'll have to write a condition for that. That if the email text field and then the password text field are blank, then it should be disabled. Otherwise, it should enable. So again, for the login button, let's go to our property. Now, we are not going to choose on select. We are going to look at the display mode. Let's see, display mode, exactly, display mode.edit. So we are going to change this .edit to our condition. So let's write if, let me make this bigger. All right, so if it's blank, okay, so if both email and then password text info fields are blank, so if it's blank, okay, if what is blank, so if the email, we type email, so we see email, it should actually give us a pop. Okay, so let's just type it ourselves. If the we are on the login screen, so if the login, let me just go and pick the name here. It's not popping up for whatever reason. I don't keep them in my head. So if this, the login email text input, okay. So login email text input and then login password text input. All right, let's go back. All right. Login email. Okay, so it came text input, right? Let's close this bracket. Text. That's text. Okay. And then or is blank. Okay. Password text input. So let's open this password. Oh, sorry, login. Password. Text. Okay, it's here. Dot text. Then we say that display mode. We go to the next line. Display mode should dot disable, and then otherwise display mode. Let me just go to the next line. Otherwise display mode dot edit. All right. So I'll quickly explain this as well. So what we just did is we just gave a condition to the login button. I think I already explained it. So if these text fields, the email text inputs and then the password text inputs, okay, if they are blank, then it should disable the login button. Otherwise, it should enable. And the enabling it is the .edit, all right? So as we can see now, it's been disabled because both text fields are blank. All right, so we are going to test that out. Let's just create, let's just go to our registration screen. So this should navigate us to the registration screen. So let's go to the onSelect for the new user text label. So onSelect, please navigate us to the registration screen transition. Let's fade it. All right, so this can take us there. So let's just hold Alt and see. Awesome, it brings us here. Okay, so now this back should also take us there. Let me quickly change the color to white. All right, so this should take us back onSelect to the login screen. So navigate, login screen, on cover right. Okay, so, and then this should reset the form for us. All right, so this should reset form, but then which form? So let's bear in mind, under the registration screen, we have edit form 2. So we are going to choose edit form 2. Otherwise, we are going to reset a different form altogether, right? So yes, so this will reset the form, right? And then this will navigate us back to the login screen. Now for the register button, so we want to pick, or we are actually going to give the same condition that we gave to the login screen, where you have to fill all of these things before it gets enabled. But before that, too, when you click on it, it should submit this form, and then it should reset the form. So what that means is that, let's say someone fills in this form, okay, a new user registers, and then they click on register. Now it will register them because we say you should submit, but then the details will still be there. All right. So when we add the reset form, it's going to reset the form after the user has been registered. So let's click on the register button. onSelect, we say that submit the form. That is the code we copied from that check icon that was here, right? So we'll submit the form 2, and then we'll reset it. So let's add a semicolon, and then let's say reset the form 2. Awesome. So this is going to submit and reset. Okay, now for the display mode, just as we did for the login button, we are going to, all right, so we are not going to say edit. We are going to write the same thing, the same condition for it. If this is blank, this is blank. If the title is blank, if the email is blank, if the password is blank, if the age is blank, if the gender is blank, and then if the profile picture is blank. But then maybe you wouldn't want to add a profile picture. So we are going to give, instead of using the or, we are going to use and, so that it's more like a condition. So it's either all the other items are filled, or the profile picture is added. Okay, so let's add the condition for the display mode. So if is blank, so what is blank? The name text. Okay, I didn't get these names, so this is okay. I would have to change them because I can't keep this. So this is, let me call it register. Oops, real quick, let me call this register quickly. Register name value. Okay, reg name value. This is reg email value. quickly. Reg, email value, reg, password value, pass. Okay, reg pass value. And then reg age value. So the naming is very important. Otherwise, you are going to get confused just as I am right now. And then the gender. Reg gender value. What name did I give to this? Reg age value. Okay. Now the profile. We're going to call it reg at picture. So reg for registration. Okay. Now let's go back to our condition for the reg. So if it's blank, so we're going to name them one after the other. So the first one was the name, right? So reg name value. Where are you? Reg. Okay, let me see. Okay, so if it's blank, reg name value dot text. Okay. And then it's blank again. I'm going to repeat this, so I'll just copy this and then paste because of time. All right. So if it's blank, this time we change the reg name value to email. So let me come here. Reg email value. Email value. Let's paste again. So what's the next one is password. So reg password value. Oh, okay, it's pass, not password. I didn't write it all. Okay. And then we have the age value, reg age value, and gender value, control V, reg gender value. All right, so we are getting error here because the gender is not a value or a particular value. It's actually an option. So we select something. So instead of dot text, we are going to use dot selected items. So whichever item that you select, that is what we are going to choose. And then the last one should be the profile picture, but that is not compulsory. So instead of using the or logic, we are going to use the end. This. So it's blank. We are going to use, let me clear everything because it's different. We are going to say at picture.media. So reg add picture dot media. Okay. Then so these are the conditions. So if all of these are blank, then we say display mode should be disabled. Right? Otherwise, display mode.edit. Otherwise, display mode. Okay, it's here, .edit. Then we close our bracket. Oh, so yeah, this is what happened. We are taking this off, right? So it's just as I explained with the login button. So we just gave it a condition and it is disabled. So I think now we can actually test this screen. But let's just quickly finish with, we are done here. Let's just quickly finish with our profile screen. Then maybe we might have to skip the forgotten password because of time, but let's just quickly finish our profile screen here. Okay, so under the profile screen, we have the form. All right, now that is what we are working with. You can't see it now because I actually set it to view. Let's go back to edit now. It's here. Okay, so the user variable that we created, whichever user is logged in, should have his or her details displayed here. Okay, now this icon is just going to navigate us back to the login screen. This icon will submit the form. This will edit it. All right. Now we just have to do something here that let's go back to the login screen because we are that code or is that code or whatever that is going to make us have that thing display should be here on the login button. Okay, so now this login button, it should have, it has something here called item, right? So okay, I think that item is actually here on our profile screen in the form. Yes, so what item should be displayed here? It should be the variable, okay, that variable that we created called user var info. Yes, so the item that should be displayed here should be that particular logged in users item. So let's just go and test the application out so far. Let's see. I'm going to play. Awesome. So let's just use a test. Okay, so black. Okay, at testmail.com. The password, let's just use word T. All right. Let's just make sure. QWERTY 1 2 3. Okay. I can log in because I don't have I haven't registered. Okay, so I cannot log in here. I nearly forgot. So let's do that. We are a new user. Let's register. Okay, so there is no item to display because we don't have a new user yet. Wait, okay. I think there seems to be a problem. The registration screen. There, okay. So what could be the issue? Because this is disabled in okay, let's see what could be the issue. What could be the issue? What could be the issue? Let's go back to where's the registration screen? Registration. This is login. Okay, registration screen. Under this, the edit form. Okay, so this, let's edit columns. Okay, so it should work. Let's go back and then see what the issue is. Login screen. Oh. Let's see. All right. So it's working. So let's go back. Let me run the app. And before that, let me save before all right. So let's run the app. right? So new user. Why does this keep occurring? Because when I run it in the application, it's actually shows up here. So when I run it from here and I go to register, it actually shows here. I'm actually running the app currently. So let's say black. This is really strange. Okay, so for some reason, I'm not able to input anything here, which is strange, but um, let's let's go back to the registration screen. The code itself. We have the form, the field. Okay. Okay, everything is all right. So let's try something here. Let me just add. Oh, let me just manually. Oh, is it because all right, let me manually add something here and see if we'll be able to have access to, okay, so my lists. Our list is not even showing here. Maybe that could be the reason we added it to this. Right. Um, Otherwise, we'd have to change the data source from what we are using currently to, okay, it's here. Oops. My list. It's here, but for some reason we are not able to. So let's just add them. Uh, let's just, okay, let's just see. Let's just add something here. Name, let's say black. Email, black at testmail.com. Password is 12345. Age 23. Gender male. Profile. Let's add random picture here. Okay, open. And let's save. So black at testmode.com 12345. Now let's see if we can log in here. For some reason, very strange reason. Okay, so 12345. And then let's log in. Awesome. So it's working here. The profile. This is our profile screen actually. So the details that we entered into the database directly. When black logged in, it's showing. It's not supposed to look like this because our profile, this one is still in edit mode. We have to change it back to view mode. Let me do that quickly. Let me do that quickly here. This, no, for the profile screen. This form should be set to view mode. Okay, now that reminds me, the profile screen form is edit form 1, and then the registration screen's form should be form 2. Could that be, yes, could that be the reason we actually aren't seeing anything? So there should be form 2. So when you click, okay, data source. Okay, so let's go back to the login screen. So we'll play it again here. Login. Okay, so now it's being displayed instead of, having those columns and everything. I would actually would love us to, add more aesthetics, add, more colors and everything to application, but we are way, way behind time. We actually like to use this opportunity to, make them this Power Apps, this event actually a series of events build with Power Apps. So we'll actually have to add more connections, add more features to various applications that we build. So probably maybe the next event, we might have to build an application that contains a chatbot. And that chatbot is going to be built using Microsoft Power Virtual Agent, which is also another feature in the Power Platform series. So we are actually hoping to make the Build with Power Apps a series of events where we'll be having more events on how to build various applications and add more features to the application that we build. I would really like to continue building, but we are way, 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 way ahead of time. Let me quickly check on the registration screen once more and see why we are not able to do anything here. It's quite strange. So yeah, this is okay. It's blank, it's blank, it's blank, it's blank. Edit, unselect, reset. Okay. So it should work actually. It should. Display mode button, the form, edit form 2. Okay, let me play it from here. This is very, very strange. No items to display. Okay. So I don't know if I am actually picking the form from a different source. It says this form, user details 95. That is our data source. Is it viewable though? Let's snap to columns. Possible. Oh yeah, right. So my bad. So the default mode should be new since we are adding a new form. That is why. Wow. That is why we weren't able to view it. So okay, so let's quickly add a new user. This time we are not going to use black.testmail since we can now create a new form. So new user register. Awesome. Now it's working now. So I'm going to use Andrea. And then Andrea at testmail.com. The password I am going to choose 09876. Yeah. Your age, I'm just guessing, pardon, 25. And then female. All right. Should we add a picture? Yes. I'm just going to let's add the MLSA logo. Right. And then register. Okay, so it's registered. One thing that I have to add is a notification that would actually let you know if you've registered successfully to otherwise you wouldn't know if you've been registered. So let's do this. Let's just do this and then notify real quick. Notify password. Okay, so I'd have to do this inside. Oh no. We are here on the submit. This is display mode. Let's go to unselect. Yeah, this is where. So notify. And then let's say registered successfully. Registration, okay, registration successful. All right. And we say notification type. We should be here. Notification type always can come. So it's success, not error. All right. Awesome. So yeah, let's register someone else. Let's see if we are going to get. All right, let's play this. So Vector, my email, Vector at testmail.com. Password 45678. Age 25. Gender male. Picture. Let's just pick a random picture. All right. Open. Register. Yes. So registered successfully. Now you can actually know that you've been registered. Let's see our list. Let's see if we can find these new. We added Andrea and myself. So let's refresh our data source. And then yes, as you can see, it's appearing here successfully. So we are going to log into Andrea's details and see how it's going to get displayed. Oops. How it's going to get displayed in the profile screen. All right. So this is supposed to take us back. We didn't do that. Oh, we did. Thank God. So Andrea, Andrea at testmail.com 09876, I think. Login. And yes, it displays here. So basically, this is what we wanted to build, not to the fullest or to the end, but due to our time constraints, we would have to end it. Probably we'll continue this and then add many more features to it. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. Basically, this is just to build your interest, let you know how easy building functional applications with Power Apps works. Now, these applications that we build with this platform, they are as powerful as the applications that we build with other programming languages. Just that you're able to do this one more quickly and more efficiently. It's very, very easy to use. So we'll end it here. At this point, I think we would like to take some questions. If you have any questions, you can actually unmute yourself and let us know, or you can leave your questions in the chat.
Well, let me tell you something about it, about the session, Victor. You're so smart with the use of Power Apps. I'm so impressed. And I don't know if people maybe have little questions there, but I have one. Have you,
Right.
I don't know, tried maybe, or do you know something of being collaborative with this tool, or it only works with just one?
Okay, so can you come again with your question? Can you be a bit clear? I didn't get you.
Oh, sure. If I can work like collaborative, with collaboration with other person, let's say, so I don't know, 2 or 3 persons working people working in the same project, let's say.
Yes, yes, actually, you can actually do that. So you can share this, you can publish it, um, and it's going to get displayed, and but it's going to be within the organization though. So I can actually publish it, and then when you open the Power App Studio, okay, you are going to see it there. But if I've added you as a collaborator, maybe you can only view or you can edit it, then you can continue from there. So um let me go back from here and then show you a couple of applications that people have built on the home. So yes, as you can see, this is my app, my app, my app, my app. This peer mentorship isn't my app, as you can see. It was actually built by the SA coordinator, and there are several more applications. And you can see, let me just drag this up, right? All right, this is my applications. Let me just, so shared with me. So no one has, okay, so as you can see, these are applications built by other ambassadors. And if they've given you that admin privileges or they can actually set it to view or edit, and then you can have that that chance to also collaborate with them. That's how it actually works.
Okay, great. Yes, no, well, I think Owagu has an answer. Maybe you have the hand on up.
Yeah, I wanted to respond to the question you asked, but he has been able to explain it well, how you can collaborate with others. So you can do it, but you have to have a organizational email which can enable you to collaborate on a project wherever you are in any country. You'll be able to collaborate and work on a project. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Franklin.
I don't know if there is any other question in the chat. I don't think so. But I'm really happy. I was pretty in the session and I really liked it. Victor.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much. You did a great job on your presentation as well. Keep it up. All right. So if there are no other questions, then we are going to end. Owagu, is your hand still up, or that was?
Yes, yes. I
All right.
wanted to express my gratitude. I really enjoyed your session. I've learned a lot today. All right. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Franklin. I actually picked a few things from you. If you can remember, you started this bar apps thing way earlier. We were
Yeah.
watching closely. Yeah. So yeah, we picked a few things from you as well. Thank you very much, Franklin.
All right.
I think
All right.
there's a question from Coffee. It says, "Please, will recorded audio be available for us?" It says, I think it's kept in the chat when we finish. So you're gonna have it, right?
Yes, we are going to share it with them. Okay. Gabriel's hand is up. Kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh, okay. So mine is not a question, but an appreciation. Thank you guys so much for putting together this session on the Power App. I really appreciate the case studies, and it's clear you guys are professionals in the field, and it's inspiring to see how Power Apps can be used to solve real world problems. Yeah, kudos to you guys.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gabriel. We really appreciate your feedback.
You are welcome. Yep.
All right, any more questions?
Yeah, I think that's it. I am so pleased to be here. Thank you for the invitation, Victor. And as always, there are always kind of errors, and Victor solved it. I'm so happy for you. I'm really happy. And
Thank you so much.
anytime I can help you out or any other MLSA. So tell me.
Sure,
Goodbye,
I
everyone.
will. All right, thank you so much. Thanks to everybody. Mohammed Bilal, I see you. We are going to be working closely. So yeah, thank you so much for everybody that joined. We'll catch you on the next event. See you.